Welcome to Hoosac Valley High School and a special live edition of High School Basketball Weekly, to be followed by the rivalry matchup between the Drury girls and Hoosac Valley right here at Hoosac Valley. But before we get to that, Tim Morey alongside of Rick Boo, and we are absolutely delighted to have with us tonight former Drury coach John Franzoni, joining us not only on the High School Basketball Weekly, but joining us for some analysis on the game that's to follow. But tonight, the big news is we are going to High School Basketball Weekly after a lot of work, a lot of discussion with a lot of different people, are going to present to you our top 10 players of all time for both Drury and Hoosac Valley. And what better way to start, Rick? We're going to start with the Drury girls teams, the all-time team, and what better person to talk with about this than our colleague right here, right next to us here, Coach John Franzoni, who played both at Drury High School and coached there.
And I appreciate everything Coach Franzoni does for us and with us at Northern Berkshire Community Television. He's a great resource. He always tells me he loves being back in the gym, and he's got a great analysis on a lot of these players because he had most of these players. So, and it was a good run during the Coach Franzoni years at Drury. And we also, I'd like to thank all the fans that chimed in with their thoughts on the girls and the boys. As over the last, I'd say, month and a half, we've been working on this a little bit. And this is a county, or Northern Berkshire County-wide type event where this isn't just a couple of people at Northern Berkshire Community Television. We talked to a bunch of folks, and a lot of folks that we would love to talk to have since passed on, but we did the best we could, and let's get it started.
And here we go. We're going to start off with the visiting squad here tonight, the Drury Blue Devils. And Coach, on the list, in our list here, somebody that you're very familiar with, Lauren Hobby Welch.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly excuse me, sorry, my mic's a little. Yeah. But Lauren is a great athlete. I mean, two-sport star. I mean, one of the things about this list at the top 10 is that all 10 of these athletes played in college. They all were college athletes. 9 of them played basketball, and Lauren, because she was such a all-around athlete, played soccer when she went to went to Bentley. So it's a pretty special list. Lauren was one of those original two-way players, played great defense, played great offense, was part of a successful run at Drury where they won a Western Mass title. So really a special player for Drury back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I remember watching her a little bit when I was back from law school working, and she's very impressive, like you said, an all-around great athlete. Next on, talking about great athletes, next on this list has to be considered truly one of the best of all time at Drury, Erica DeSanti.
Yeah, another great two-way player. I mean, that's one of the things I think is really, you see this throughout this whole list, is all these players they played both ends of the court. They didn't just score points. They defended, they were good offensive players, and they also were tremendous leaders. And I think that's a key factor on this list, is all these players achieve success, not just because of their athletic ability, but also because they're a leader. And Erica, as evidence of that, went on to be a very successful college coach as well. So, I mean, really a special player in Drury basketball history, Erica DeSanti.
Yeah, she is currently, I believe, still the women's golf coach at Princeton.
Yes, I believe that's correct. That's right.
She moved on from Williams to the Ivy League, and she was a great athlete, absolutely great basketball player.
Yeah, one of those coaches in trainings is a point guard too. You always see seems to be a lot of qualities with point guards and going into being coaches too. So she's a great example of that, Erica.
Next on the list, Coach, is a young lady. I saw her play, but my introduction to her was during the summer when I was filling in the North Adams Men's League, and I looked across the court, and this young lady was playing, and she played point guard for the opposing team, and let me tell you, she held her own without any difficulty. Michelle Boudreau.
I mean, just a great on-the-ball defender. She was. I mean, she could, in the teams that when I first took over at Drury back in 2002, 2003, I mean, as the smallest player on our team, she could dominate on the defensive end because she was such a good on-the-ball defender and just quick hands, always on the ball. And then she would hit the big three or drive to the basket, and she was just a solid player. And, one of the things I think about some of the players that played on my teams in that span of 11 years is that a lot of them didn't reach 1,000 points because there was such a good balance. And Michelle's a good example of that, where she played both ends, and in a different situation, she would have scored a lot more, but she didn't need to. She was a good point guard, made her teammates better, but could hit the big basket when we needed it.
Absolutely. The next person on the list, Coach, is a young woman who you had the privilege of coaching, and this is a player I saw a lot of play a lot of high school basketball, and I just consider her to be one of the truly great, complete, all-around players, Danielle Reset.
No, definitely. Danielle, that description I gave Michelle really applies to Danielle, too. Just as much as she was a great offensive player, she's even better defensively. We would always give her the toughest assignment on the perimeter, and she would take care of that player oftentimes just on her own so we could focus on the rest of the players. I always remember, a key moment with Danielle was my last year. We were playing against South Hadley, and they had the ball. We're up by 3, and we just played, let's play it straight. And Kara Callahan, their best player, had a good look at a 3, and out of nowhere comes Danielle, blocks the shot, game over. So she just always was there at the end of games, hitting free throws, big shots, or making a play on the defensive end of the court.
Absolutely, and I think teams that played you with her in the lineup, they had to design defenses around Danielle Reset, because she was such a big impact player for you.
They did. I remember we played some tough games here at Hoosac there in those times, and it was always a constant double team or run at her to try to get the ball out of her hands, and she was so strong with the ball. And she was smart, too, and teams would double her. She'd find the open player.
Yeah, she had the knack of driving the lane. She loved her right side, but she always got the whistle.
Yeah.
She knew exactly how to put the ball up, how to control the ball and her body at the same time, and she got a lot of whistles. She lived at the free throw line for a long time, but truly outstanding. One quick note on Danielle. My oldest grandson played youth basketball in North Adams, and during that time they had the boys and girls play together. A lot of the girls played at the Armory, not over at the Y. And Danielle was on my grandson's team, and for the period of time he was on that team, these are the little kids. The coach was her uncle David Reset, and she was the best player on the team for as many years as she played. So,
she just loved to play.
Yeah.
She would play; it didn't matter. All year she was playing basketball.
Yeah, almost a female version of her dad. So,
right.
Next on the list is a young woman who really was probably the best player at Drury during the 1990s, great scorer in her own right, Sarah D'Arcangelo.
Yeah, another tremendous overall player, leader. Played both ends of the court. Sarah was really a player that could score the basketball and was another quality leader, and also just a great athlete. I know she's a tremendous golfer now, very successful in the local tournaments, and just a real quality. Another player that just loved to play.
Right.
Was always on the court, was always playing basketball.
Absolutely, and of course comes from a great family.
Yeah, great lineage.
Great lineage there in the D'Arcangelo family, that's for sure. The next on the list, Coach, is a young lady who I think probably could be considered one of the top all-time big ladies to play at Drury High School, Bethany Lorge.
Yeah, Beth Lorge was a senior captain my first year, along with Lisa Cunningham, and they were just tremendous leaders. Had a very successful year coaching her, and Beth went on to play at Williams for 4 years and did a great job there. She's now a principal locally for Pownell Elementary. Just another in that line of leaders, and played both ends of the court, and just solid. Really a solid player. She came back after she graduated, would help us with our summer league. You want to establish that in your program. You want to establish that connection to the program, and she was really the epitome of that, coming back for many years and helping to coach our teams in the off season.
Absolutely. Coach, next on the list, a young woman who could be considered by many to be the best all-time player at Drury High School, Caitlin Cunningham.
Yeah, Caitlin was I didn't coach Caitlin, but I got the opportunity to work with her when she came back and coached for a year while I was there, and just a tremendous competitor. A very excellent athlete, went on to play at Union College. She was really the leader of when Drury had that resurgence back in the early 2000s, before I came on a couple of years later. And, she really led that charge, and, that excitement that came back to girls basketball during that time. She was right at the forefront of that, with some excellent teams that played some very memorable games against Monument Mountain during that time.
Yeah, that's when Drury and Monument Mountain were really battling it out out as rivals at that
Coach
time.
Kinney had great teams down there. Lee was strong. You played a lot of good Lee teams, John, and you played very, very tough Monument Mountain teams too. They were very Lee for a long time ruled Berkshire County. So you played a South County team and you did well against them. You did well overall.
I remember starting on the coaches that were there during that time. I mean, Tom Kinney, Tom Sinella, Fred LaFay, Luke Powell. I mean, you can go on a list. They're all Hall of Fame coaches.
Hall of Fame coaches.
Amazing group of, and many of them a lot of them started coaching boys and went over to coach girls and really had great success in the latter part of their careers.
Right. Another young lady with tremendous family lineage for basketball on our list, Sarah Petropoulos, who scored 1,230 points in her career.
Yeah, Sarah's a tremendous player. I mean, she was in school when I was in school with her. I was graduated 82. She graduated 83. I mean, she led Drury to, I believe, 2 Western Mass titles during that time. They had some memorable games against those Lennox teams that were just dominant during the time with Lisa Bainitz and the
Lisa
Hart
Bainitz,
twins. I mean, I remember going to Lennox and just that place was packed. I mean, you couldn't, that was one of those times where you don't think of Drury Lennox and they're closing the gym down, but they did. So, I mean, those teams had memorable games, and, Sarah led a very talented group of players at Drury that were very successful during the early 80s.
Yeah, Sarah, her sister Karen also played basketball at Drury, another great athlete, and her 2 brothers. So.
Yeah, what a great family. Another great family in terms of basketball. I mean, Sarah could score. I mean, she was had that nice lefty shooting touch, but also could really drive to the basket and be effective both inside and out.
Next on the list, Coach, the all-time leading scorer for girls at Drury High School, a young lady you were involved know well, Taylor DeSanti.
Yeah, Taylor, came to Drury with a lot of promise, and she lived up to it in her 4 years at Drury. I mean, she came in as a young player on a talented team. Her junior year, we had a little bit of a rough patch with some injuries, but she really bounced back her senior year and led the team to a successful run, and then went on to play 4 years in college as well. And I mean, Taylor, I give her a lot of credit because she came in as a scorer, and I think during her 4 years, she really worked hard to become a great overall player too. Because she saw the court very well. Another player that played a lot of basketball, could make her teammates better. I mean, she could shoot it, she could drive, she could play both ends of the court, and developed into a very talented and good leader for our team, for our program.
The final lady on the list, Coach, I call her the mother of Drury basketball, girls basketball, the great Mary Gaudreau.
Yeah, I mean, the leader of the state championship team at Drury. I mean, she, under Coach Irene Bianchi, led the Lady Blue Devils, and I think their 3rd year playing to a state title, which is tremendous when you think about it, to go to that level so quickly. And, she wanted to play at Siena College, which is a tremendous accomplishment as well. And Mary just, the early leader of this team, and definitely, like you said, she's like the elder statesman on this team, and she really that's where it started for Drury, having some really successful teams over the last 40, 45 years. So it's a tremendous history led by Mary.
And I'm sorry, I was just going to say, before you swap over to Hoosac Valley, I just want to make one quick point. I want to give a shout out to all the folks that worked in the girls' youth program at the YMCA for many, many years, creating that good program, to the little tykes until the travel teams started, the 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. That's your building block. The folks in North Adams that worked that program for the young ladies really did justice to Drury High School and a few kids that have gone on to McCann Tech. And there's a youth program in Adams also. But, I'm thinking, there's Glenn Boyer, Jim Cunningham, Miles and Margaret Whitney.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just put so much time and effort into that youth program. And the finished product is what Coach Franzoni got, Coach Bianchi, Coach Knoll, all the coaches through the years with all those great Drury athletes. And there's so many hundreds and hundreds or thousands of young ladies that have gone through that program. Just to even come close to picking a top 10 is pretty amazing.
Yep. And I just want to add one last thing here with Mary Gaudreau. 1979, she scored over 1,000 points. We talked a little bit about this off air. 1979, the ladies played with a bigger basketball, and there was no three-point line. So
right.
think about that
Yeah.
for a moment. So that's quite a list, and some great players here. So now we're going to switch over to Hoosac Valley, and on the list we've got a young lady who scored over 1,000 points, has a state title on her resume, Lexi Mercier, who graduated 2019, and somebody told me that one of the things about Lexi was because of her incredible range as a three-point shooter, you really had to defense that, or you were going to get burned.
Yeah, I mean, she served as a great stretch player on those teams, really making teams go out and guard them and open up the floor, and that's hard to guard when you can put that many players on the court that can score, led by Lexi. Did a great job, and started the state title run for Hoosac Valley.
Right.
Yeah, she teamed up with Allie Mendel, and they had an incredible 1-2 punch, inside, outside. But Lexi, I can still picture her today after all these years, sitting in that corner, knocking down those threes time after time after time.
Next on the list, Jennifer Gale, graduated 2015. She scored approximately 900 points and was on 2 Western Mass title teams. And what one person said to me about her was she was a sneaky good shooter and did a lot of the dirty work for those title teams at Hoosac Valley.
Yeah, she was an incredible guard. She just quietly led her team, and that was if you remember, it was the very, very start of what I call the Hoosac Valley dynasty that was built here. She was, I think, she might have been a junior coach when they took the first title.
Yeah, when they 2013 when they beat us in the finals, they were the 7 seed, we were the 1 seed, and she had some big shots in that game, and that was one of her strengths. I know that earlier, I think when they won the quarterfinals at Hampshire, she hit some big shots in a double overtime.
Yes,
win,
she did.
She was a real clutch player for Hoosac there now those years.
Now we're going to go back to the 80s for Hoosac Valley, and next on the list, Carrie Malarzik. Scored 1,237 points in her career. Member of the Berkshire County Girls Basketball Hall of Fame. And one of the things, Coach, that I note about Carrie Malarzik was the particular teams at Hoosac Valley at that time were not necessarily the strongest teams. So teams could really try to defense her, and she was still able to get her points and score the basketball.
Right. You got to admire when you're playing on a team. I mean, a lot of these players are talking about playing some successful teams. But some of the ones we're talking about, too, played on teams that were a little more challenging. They didn't have as much help as some other players did. And Carrie did a great job of leading her team back in the 80s and being a real strong player for Hoosac during that time.
Right. Next on our list, Avery McGrath, graduated 2022, 1,000-point scorer as well. Also a member of 2 state title teams. And my remembrance of Avery McGrath was in 2019, Rick, in the state championship, of course, she made some big shots at the end of that game for Hoosac Valley as a freshman.
Yeah, you could see her, Tim, coming on right away. We knew that. We knew that with the current player, Ashley LaShore.
Right.
We talked about her when she was in 8th grade, what it was going to be like when she came up and played. It was the same thing with Avery McGrath. Yeah, she just played with a lot of confidence as a 9th grader, and she had an excellent career here.
And next on our list, Allison Mendel, also graduated 2019, member of that state title team. Scored over 1,000 points, and she was very tough, very strong girl, Coach, in terms of taking the ball to the basket. A lot of like Danielle Reset,
right.
Very, very strong.
Yeah, very strong on the ball, very athletic, went on to play very successfully at Westfield in college, and one of those players that really took Hoosac to the next level in terms of their success at the state level.
And the thing about it, thinking back, we used to call them the M&M girls, Mercier and Mendel. 2 players on one team that scored over 1,000 points. That's a luxury, you know?
Yeah, you don't see that too often, and they were, you have a duo like that in high school basketball, they can dominate, and they did.
Right. Next on the list, a young woman who is not a 1,000-point scorer, but boy, she did everything else for Hoosac Valley. Riley Robinson, also a member of back-to-back state state title games. You're really the heart and soul of
Right.
those squads.
And that's a key thing, I think. You know, a lot of times, I know when I was on the Basketball Hall of Fame board for about 10 years, we talked about, 1,000 points is a milestone, but really, when you're looking at girls basketball players that were really successful across Berkshire County, not just with Drury and Hoosac, there are few that fit in the same category as Riley Robinson in terms of just playing the overall game, being successful, making her teammates better, and that's where girls basketball has really excelled in Berkshire County, having those types of leaders like Riley Robinson that were successful because of their overall game.
Yeah, she took a tremendous number of offensive fouls. She was a great defensive player as well as a leader. And we remember, Rick, in the state championship, when she got hurt and had to leave the floor with a gash on her head, it was like the whole place was deflated for Hoosac Valley.
Yeah, and then out she comes, and not just out she comes, she sits on the end of the bench and gets into the ballgame and made a big difference. But you said it before I did, Tim. She was probably the most well-rounded overall Hoosac player I've seen since I've been covering games here at Northern Berkshire Community Television.
Right.
She was just basketball smart, court smart, saw the whole court, got as much joy, I think, blocking the shot, assisting as she did scoring, or taking an offensive charge.
Yep. Next on our list at Hoosac Valley, Fallon Field, again, a young lady who scored over 1,000 points here at Hoosac Valley, finished up with a tremendous career. She was a member of 4 consecutive Western Mass Championship teams, and she was, like Riley Robinson, a very, very complete player.
Yeah, she was very, very hard to stop because she could go inside, outside also. She had a knack for scoring, but she put a lot into her game. She was a very well-rounded athlete overall, and didn't play for a long period of time, but wanted to play up at Bowdoin
Right.
after Hoosac Valley.
Right.
She was a lot of fun to watch too.
Right. Next on our list, the all-time leading scorer at Hoosac Valley, both boys and girls, the legendary Nikki Valyers. And what more can you say about somebody that scores almost 2,000 points?
That's impressive. I mean, that's, Nikki was one of those players that was a great athlete, too.
Right.
I mean, played baseball when she was younger
Yes.
and softball later, but just a tremendous athlete, had great success in college, and
Yes.
really competed at a high level in the 90s for Hoosac and beyond.
The next player on the list, guys, is the young woman I think you can say really got the current generation of Hoosac Valley basketball on the map, and that's Emily Rossi, a 2-time Western Mass champion, actually 3-time Western Mass championship, 13, 14, 15, yeah. And what more can you say about her? She scored over 1,300 points, really was a pretty good outside shooter, but because of the lack of size at Hoosac Valley, she had to play down in the box a lot, Coach.
Right, she was long and athletic, and really another one of those players that just liked to play. You know, she was always playing in the summer. I know that was when their AAU program really took off with her and her classmates, and they had tremendous success starting in 2013 when she was a sophomore. Right,
and you could just see her athleticism. She could jump really well, and like you said, she loved to play the game, and in just her own quiet way was a real leader of those Hoosac Valley teams. The last person on the list is, I'm going to date myself going back a little bit. Like Mary Gaudreau, this young lady was the person who really got basketball, Hoosac Valley started on the girls' side, and that was the great Paula Hayden, who graduated in 1977. She was the first girl in Berkshire County to score over 1,000 points. She went on to play at LSU, and just a great player, over legendary.
Yeah, we talked about Mary Gaudreau being the first
That's
from
right,
Drury.
yeah.
She's a starter
Yes.
for Hoosac. I mean, to play at LSU, that's a tremendous accomplishment, and there's some D1 players on this list, but that's as impressive as anybody.
Yeah, no question about it. So it's quite a list. Both these lists are something else. And we've had other great players here. Players have done different things. It's hard to put the list together, but we thought we'd try to do that and give people a little bit of insight of the history of these 2 great programs who have been led by great coaches, great youth leagues, etc. It's been really quite a run for both of these schools.
Right, Drury's run started a lot sooner than the Hoosac Valley run. When I first started doing these games, Tim, with John Bird and you and Butch, Coach Franzoni didn't necessarily have his way, but came out on the winning end most of those games. And I always talk about this every time we do a game or on High School Basketball Weekly, how much I admire sustainability of programs.
Right.
You could be dominant for a short period of time. We talked about the Amherst Pelham program that gave Hoosac Valley fits a few years ago. Well, they're struggling right now. They're trying to rebuild a program. There's other programs that we talk about, and they have hit dominance and it stayed there.
Right.
And one of them is the Hoosac Valley girls. So, Hoosac with the football team, Drury with their baseball team from years ago.
Right.
It's kind of come together more. The games are much tighter now, and but I said it's easier, I think, to pick a top 25 than it is a top 10.
Right.
So there's so many outstanding athletes at both those schools.
It's interesting the runs that they go on too, because I mean, during my time, the 11 years I was there until 2002 to 2013, we were 19-3 against Hoosac, but the last time Drury girls beat Hoosac was January of 2013 when I was coaching.
Right.
So this is a kind of leading into tonight's game. This is a mindset now. It's a hurdle. The Hoosac girls believe they're going to win. My teams believe they were going to win.
Right.
So, and that's what Coach Downey has to make his kids believe, is that they can come out and compete, but do they believe they can come out and compete against the tremendous success Hoosac's had over the last 12 years?
Well, that's you know what? You stole my thunder. That's a great lead-in to tonight's game. Both teams are on the floor warming up, and it's a big game, really, I think, Coach, for both teams, for the reason you talk about. Hoosac Valley is on a roll right now. They're 10-3. They came off a great weekend down in Springfield in the Hoop Hall Invitational. They're at 10-3, and they've had the better of the Drury Blue Devils over this 10-12 year period. So they want to keep going, so to speak. And by the same token, this young Drury squad, they want to get over the hump and really determine that they can play with Hoosac and beat them.
Yeah, when you're the top of the heap, the hunted, so to speak, as Hoosac has been, you want to stay there, and the way you do that is by continuing to beat the teams that are hunting you, and that's what they've done an excellent job over the last, like I said, 10-12 years with teams like Drury, is to emphasize that they are the ones that, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So that's what tonight comes down to. Is Drury has a good young team, but to get to that next step, they got to get over the hump and beat Hoosac.
Yeah, and Rick, let's talk about that a little bit. Hoosac Valley on a little bit of a roll here. They're getting some great play from their sophomore guard, Reagan Shea. Of course, we know the regulars. They were going to talk about Emma Meswar and a young lady that might make that top 10 list for Hoosac someday, Ashlyn LaSure, who just scored her 1,000th point over the weekend. But as much of a roll as they're on, Drury at 6-5 has played good basketball, and I think they're on the cusp here with this particular team.
The Blue Devils have taken it on the chin 5 times this year. They've been in most of their ball games, and they battled Agawam a couple of times. They battled Belchertown. They battled Pope Francis last week. I saw Coach Downey the day after that game, and I asked him what happened. He said, yeah, we just stunk. That's just the way it was. But he says, unfortunately, we're heading down to Cheshire when the Lady Canes are playing extremely good basketball, the best basketball of the season, getting a lot from their veterans and a lot from their youth. They won 4 games last week of the 4 they played. They eventually lost down at Wacona. They also won both games in the Hoop Hall Invitational Classic, and then beat Amherst last night.
Right. Well, let's go down to the floor here for the introduction of the starting lineups for both of these fine teams prior to tonight's tip-off. Well, we're just about ready to go. You know, we've only got 3 seniors playing combined in this game, Coach, between these two teams.
Yeah, that's the first thing that stands out is you just see the youth in both teams, and right when they're starting lineups, you got 8th graders, freshmen, sophomores, more in those grades than you do for seniors.
Right.
So it just shows there's strength now, but there's also strength in the future for these programs too.
Yeah, Drury's Hannah Lacasse is a senior, but played a little bit her sophomore year, and JV's her freshman year. Did not go out last year, so she may be a senior as far as high school is concerned, but in the program, still young.
And that's the thing too. I mean, Hoosac's played in these games. Drury's got to come out, handle the pressure early,
right.
Show they're ready to play in front of this kind of crowd, this kind of atmosphere, and you know, there's going to be always ups and downs in the game. How do you handle that adversity
exactly
to stay in the game?
The Hoosac Valley's got a sophomore, an 8th grader, and a 9th grader out there in their starting lineup.
Well, we got. Let's see. We got a freshman and a sophomore that jumped, and Drury controls it, and Jacinta Felix will run the point, guarded by an 8th grader, Gianna Winnick. Hoosac Valley in that man-to-man. Actually, they're showing a zone, a 1-3-1 zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to call block there. That first foul will go against Ashlyn LaShore.
She hit that court very, very hard.
Yeah.
That's the thing you got to do against a zone, too. You got to go and dribble against it, make the defense work, and that's a big foul on LaShore early in the game.
Exactly. She's a little shaken up there, boy. She really took a blow. They're giving her a moment there. Again, Felix being hounded on top. Now they're to a man-to-man. Ball stolen by LaShore. And there's a foul there.
Come in, Emma Moser.
Yep.
Number 35.
So some tough defense early on in this one. And Hoosac Valley now, they're going to inbound it.
That zone's going to be tough to penetrate.
And Drury coming out with a little bit of pressure here. LaShore brings it up the court, crosses over down the lane. The wild shot doesn't get it to go. Her second shot doesn't go as well, and here comes Drury.
You know, both teams a little ragged on their first possession. Sometimes that's what happens in these emotional games. You
Yeah.
gotta just settle down a little bit and play.
Yeah, this is a pretty raucous environment here. And there's a steal. Here comes Whittick into the front court for Hoosac. Meswar steps back. This is that 3-ball.
It's a good look. Drury's got to find her.
And there's Felix again to Lacasse. And there is Daly. Nice drop down, but the pass knocked away. And it'll go over to Hoosac Valley.
Drury's had an issue this year turning the ball over when they had a shot from the paint, did not take it. That extra bounce pass has been stolen.
Yeah, it seemed like Hoosac would change in, but between that 1-3-1 and the man is really, Drury's a little confused by it. It looks like early.
And there's the 8th grader working it up against that pressure. Underneath, dropped out. Oh, nice drop down pass. Oh. Nice look there by LaShore to LaJess, and she's going to have her shot at a 3-point play.
That's 2 on Mosier.
And she's going to have to come out, Coach, and Addison Shepard, the freshman. So you kind of see, like you said, both these squads young.
Yeah, LaJess, a freshman, but she took it strong. Good, strong move to finish.
So Hoosac Valley on the board first here. They lead at 3-0. 6 minutes to go in this opening quarter of play. Big crowd on hand, as you would expect for this one. And here comes Whittick, and she's going to lose it.
2 possessions in a row with stolen passes, trying to get the ball into the paint.
hard to believe an 8th grader playing in this environment, you know.
Yeah, we saw it last year with Trevor Moynihan on the boys squad.
Yeah, there's a step back. Doesn't go. And tied up on a rebounding action.
Not surprised that MMOs was in the middle of that.
Yep. Drury has a little bit of a height advantage here.
But they do it with the sophomore and the freshman in the game right now together. Yep. That doesn't happen too often. But with Moser in foul trouble, Coach Stoney had no choice.
Oh, nice inbound.
Nice block. We got a touch foul by Lacasse.
I don't know. All that banging around, and they called that foul. So I don't know.
That's the thing too. When you may have the height advantage, but when you bring that ball down, those hands get in there and can take the ball away.
Oh, Lacasse almost stolen by Drury. And there's a tie-up, and that's going to go this time to Hoosac Valley.
That's something, in my personal opinion, I think Drury has lacked over the last couple of years. They've really picked up some defensive intensity, and they've been on the floor. They're fighting for balls. They're more aggressive than I've seen them in a long time.
All right, we got a timeout here. They're waiting on the sideline here. So, all right, so Hoosac Valley's going to inbound the ball. They lead 3-0. 5:27 to go here in this opening quarter. Ball tipped away. Hoosac Valley to inbound. They get it in. Good defense by Drury on the inbound. Oh, what a pass there by LeSure. Shot block. Great defense there by Drury.
Great look by Ashley LeSure there.
Boy, they are working.
They are working very hard. Both squads on the floor again.
I think, a smart move by a veteran player, Jacinta Felix, too. She's taken a couple open looks from the three of the last few possessions, trying to get Drury some looks at the basket.
Oh, there's a lid on that basket for Drury. Almost there. Here comes LeSure. There goes LeSure. Second shots are going to tie it up, and that's they're going to tie it up, and it's going to go. I don't know, Hoosac Valley. 3-0 Hoosac Valley here. 4:36 to go in this first quarter, and it has been a real rock fight so far. Inbound to Meswar misses the bunny. Boy, both these squads are struggling here.
I guess so. Rock fight's a good word for that first 4 minutes.
There's a beautiful play. Boy, I thought she may have been fouled on that play. They let it go.
Drury's got a little bit better looks the last couple of possessions. Nothing has fallen yet, like you said, Tim.
Absolutely.
One thing both teams are doing, though, they're almost like they're playing for the contact instead of playing through it. You got to sometimes don't lean sideways into it. Go straight up through it, and you can finish.
Right.
But that's, again, settle into the game. They'll be fine.
All right, Drury's showing that zone press. Meswar can't break it. Ball stolen. And score it. All the way to the basket, Delaney Hayden. And she'll have a chance for a three-point play. Just what you said there, Coach. Took it hard to the basket.
Yeah, exactly. Go right to the basket, and the contact comes, that's fine. And just play through it. You get the foul, but go to the basket.
4 minutes exactly to go here in this first quarter.
Drury's also, Coach Downey's checked in Lily Moranti, who's been scoring some points off the bench for Drury recently. I read she had 18 in the last game, so trying to get some offense off their bench now for the Blue Devils.
And ball's going to go to Drury on the tie-up.
Both defenses have played extremely well the first half of this first quarter.
Probably fair to say, John, that Drury's got a little bit more depth than Hoosac Valley.
That seems to be definitely the case. They've been playing a lot of players, and that'll be the key. Can they wear down a little bit with their depth in this game?
On the line, the ball will go back to Drury. 3-2, Hoosac Valley, 3:47 in a low scoring first quarter of action here at Hoosac Valley between Drury and Hoosac.
See, Hoosac's in that zone now, and Drury is way, way out here. They got to get their offense in a little more to attack the basket.
Oh, steal there by LeSure. Got to go coast to coast, and she doesn't get it. The look ahead. Neither team can convert. And a timeout by Hoosac Valley.
Just the adrenaline was flowing on both ends, and the ball's a little bit too hard off that glass on both ends.
Boy, they both had golden opportunities to score and just cannot convert.
That's a good point, Rick. The adrenaline's definitely flowing because those, especially that last layup, looked like it was going to go through the backboard, not just off it. So it's, again, that's an emotion of the game. That team's got to settle down a little bit, make some good defensive plays, and use that to turn into some offense.
Well, you know, long gone, and it's been a while now, but long gone is the ninth grader that has to play junior varsity, you know, to build up their esteem, and so we've got eighth graders starting. We've got a lot of ninth graders, a lot of 10th graders, and the joy is seeing these kids play for that amount of time. So if you love high school basketball, or you cover it, or you just watch as a fan, and you see these young athletes play, you take a look and say, my God, this young lady's an eighth grader. We're going to see her for 4 more years.
Right.
You know, so, and they play with so much composure. You can tell they work hard all year long, play AAU, and play tough basketball.
Okay.
Gianna Winnick is absolutely impressive in her ball handling.
And Hoosac Valley inbounds the ball.
Yeah, she does not play like an eighth grader.
No,
Right.
not at all.
3-2, Hoosac Valley here. 3:07 to go in this first quarter. It's a low-scoring affair. Reagan Shea has a 3-ball, doesn't go. And Drury on the rebound. And here comes Zita Felix into the front court for the Blue Devils. These young ladies are playing hard. There's a shot right there. A great entry pair. It's to Elise Daly.
That was a great possession by Drury. They got the ball into the scoring areas, attacked the high post, and had a good look at the basket.
And there's another steal. Cannot convert. And Hoosac Valley now has numbers. Short can't get it to go from 3, and here comes Drury right back. They're pushing the action. Ball stolen away from behind. Great play by Meswar. Oh, nice drop down pass to Shea.
That was a great pass. That was a great pass.
5-4 Hoosac Valley. It's good a scorer as LeSure as she's a great passer.
She does. She sees the court very well and gives her teammates a chance to score when she delivers the ball to them.
1 point Hoosac Valley lead. 5-4 here. 1:35 to go. There's the putback and score it. Daly. That's her second hoop. And Drury has the 1 point lead now. 6-5. Down the lane goes LeSure.
It's going to be on Shepard.
Yeah. And that's going to put Ashlyn LeSure on the line for a pair with 1:19 to go here in this opening quarter.
I know, Tim, that you have a lot of conversation with Coach Frederick, and I, in turn, do the same thing. I see Coach Downey a lot and confer with him a lot. He's so high in his young kids. Very, very high in his young kids.
Yeah, the future is very bright for
both these squads.
both these squads. as they have young people contributing right off the bat here. And Ashland LaSure makes both, and it's a Hoosac Valley 1-point lead again, 7-6. Hoosac showing that 1-3-1 zone. And score again. Danielle Delaney Hayden, and she's got 2 buckets now.
She had a nice impact on this game since she's coming off the bench.
And there's a 3-ball by LaJess.
6 points for LaJess.
Yep. She leads all scorers, 10-8 Hoosac Valley here. 35 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Felix trying to take it all the way to the basket. Tied up there. Ball on the floor, almost stolen away. And it's going to be a jump ball. And on the possession arrow, it'll go to Hoosac. Boy, these teams are leaving nothing. They are putting it all out on the floor.
Definitely hard fought, I would say.
I would say that is an appropriate description of the action here. Big crowd on hand here at Hoosac Valley for this one. Looking for LaJess on the block. Nice move and foul. And she's going to go to the line.
2 on Shepard now.
We haven't seen Genevieve play very much today, but we're seeing her now, and she's impressive.
Yeah, she has some pretty good moves down low on the box, and of course she hit that 3-pointer, so she's got a pretty complete game, it looks like.
Addison Shepard picked up her 2nd personal foul.
Yeah, in a game where players are having trouble scoring, LaJess has really stepped up and made some good scoring moves.
Yep, missed both foul shots, and
Jacinta Felix is fouled after the rebound action.
Yep. Into the game for Hoosac Valley is fouled by Hannah Lord, number 25, the junior. And when
only 3 Hoosac fouls, I believe.
And when you say junior, you say, wow. Felix going to be fouled out on top.
That's the one they could give, too.
Right, 0.9 seconds to go. And more importantly, that's the 2nd foul on Reagan Shea. Here with 0.9 seconds to go here in this opening quarter. And that's going to do it for a hard-fought, tightly contested opening quarter of play here at Hoosac Valley. The score after 1 is Hoosac Valley 10 and Drury 8. And boy, these 2 teams were really battling.
Yeah, it seemed to settle down a little bit for about 2 or 3 minutes there towards the end of the quarter, and they got some points. I thought that Delaney Hayden came in and gave some real good minutes on both ends for Drury. And I always talked about Genevieve LaJess playing a great game offensively for Hoosac.
Right. Yeah, just a freshman. Like I said, you've got leading scorers here for Drury. Elise Daly, the sophomore, had 4, and then Delaney Hayden had 4. And for Hoosac Valley, it's the freshman Genevieve LaJess, who's got 6. So the youth will be served here tonight, that's for sure. And
it's interesting because Drury has a couple players with 2 fouls with Moser and Shepard. As much as maybe Hoosac maybe wanted to give a foul there, I don't think Coach wanted Shea to give it up. That was her 2nd.
Right.
You talk about that depth issue. That's a player that Hoosac wants to have on the court.
Right. So Shea's going to take a seat on the bench for Hoosac Valley, and into the game, Hannah Lord. And Drury will have the ball here to start this 2nd quarter. And they're going to call, that's going to go.
It's on LaSure, I think.
That's going to go against LaSure, and that's her 2nd foul. So Coach Frederick with some decisions here.
It's funny, for as physical as this game has been, there's been a couple of touch fouls that have been called.
Right.
You know, that's kind of how LaSure got that one.
In and out.
In and out. They're going to call it tied up. It's going to go over to Hoosac.
If Drury can continue to do that all game long, play the defense they played in the first quarter, they should be able to stick with the Hurricanes for a while here.
Right. A smart veteran move by LeSure there. She had her hands in there and she got out of it before not taking a chance getting that third foul.
Wittick out on top here. Here's Meswar. Short on the shot, and it's going to go over to Drury on the rebounding action. That pass was tipped down the lane. And a tie-up this time will stay with Drury.
Coach Frederick and his team definitely doing a good job trying to change their defenses. That was a 2-3 the last time after the 1-3-1, and then matching up a little bit other possessions.
Felix going to take it down the lane. Kicks it out. And the shot is short.
Knocked out by Emma Meswar, I believe.
Yep. Drury's had a lot of second shots in this game today. Wow, step back. That was a long one. Go over to Drury.
So Lacass's hard work, they're keeping the ball alive, knocked it off Emma Meswar.
Yep.
Good hustle by Drury, keeping the ball alive and getting some extra shots. And
absolutely.
Those second shots are tough in a game like this.
You won't see that in the scorebook, that's for sure, but it's a big, big play for Drury. And Felix. Long three ball doesn't go. And there's a tough rebound by LeSure. She gets it ahead to Meswar. And there's a foul on Meswar.
Oh, my dear.
Wow.
Wow. Foul's on Felix.
Yeah, it's on Felix. That's the second.
I'm standing up here. I'm watching her grab the ball away, and I'm looking for a jump ball, and he calls a foul.
Yeah, that foul is on you.
So John, you're right about the touchies and the, I didn't figure sometimes.
Practice that kindergarten roll.
Play. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, that's only one foul on Felix, so first on the team. 10-8 Hoosac Valley with 6:10 to go here in this first half. It is a low scoring, real struggle between these two teams.
Hannah Lacasse has some really, really good looks, just not knocking them down.
Meswar steps back for three. And timeout, Drury. And boy,
she's deadly. She's deadly on that three-point. I was watching her in pregame. She was knocking them down one after another.
Boy,
you don't have a hand on her face, that's what's going to happen.
And when a team scores in a game like this, it's big news.
You're right. I mean, I think Rick said Lacasse has some good looks, and I mean, they look great coming out of her hand. They're just not going down, and then you leave Meswar open for one shot, and it's a 3 and it's a 5-point lead.
So it's 13-8 with 5:52 to go. And if you missed it, we had a special edition of High School Basketball Weekly. Prior to this game, we announced our all-time top 10 players, both for girls for both Drury and Hoosac Valley. We're going to do the same thing prior to the Hoosac Drury game up at Drury High School on February 11th. So that'll be something you want to tune into. And of course, you can certainly weigh in with any one of us on your selections. We're putting those squads together. I'm sure we're going to have a little bit of controversy, but so be it. But we'll do that on February 11th. So, all right, Drury's going to inbound the ball here to start play again with 5:52 to go in this first half. Hoosac leads it 13-8 in a low-scoring defensive struggle between these two rivals.
Yeah, Drury's only given up 35 points a game. Hurricanes just a little bit more at 43.
Oh, that's a great play, great set. Here comes Hoosac. Meswar thought about it for a minute. Shot it. Oh, good. Oh. And sure it's going to go to the line and shoot 2 on the rebounding action. So on that particular possession, Hoosac Valley got some second shots, John.
Yeah, those are, we always talk about it. That's what wins basketball games. You get those second and third shots, and in that case, you get a foul on another one of Drury's forwards. Three for 3 from the line for LeSure.
And she makes them both. 4 for 4 from the line, and Hoosac Valley has a 7-point lead, 15-8 here.
Yeah, 5-0 run to start the second quarter by Hoosac, and Drury's had some chances. They're just not getting the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, they have. They've had some good looks at the basket. Some well-designed plays. And there's a
again,
foul
LaCasse
right
can't get it to fall.
And
They
that's
could have used an and one on that one, but she will go to the line.
Yeah, that's going to go against Is it? Well, maybe against Lord? Yeah, that's going to go against Lord. I thought it might be against Meswar. That's her second. And that's going to put Hannah LaCasse, the senior, on the line for the Blue Devils. And in a game like this, John, all these shots count, especially at the foul line.
Yeah, you got to make your free throws in this game, and I think for Hannah, just to get one of these to fall would be big for her confidence.
Just them both, so.
0 for 3 from the line for the Blue Devils.
And going to call a foul there. It's going to go against the Jess in the corner.
Only her first.
Yep. Third on the team with 4:56 to go in the
yeah,
first half.
the poll's in front of me. I can't see how many team fouls Hoosac has.
Right.
Looks like 3.
Yep, 3. Whittick is hounding Delaney Hayden out on top. Hoosac Valley now in a man-to-man defense. They're switching on defenses a lot. Three-pointer doesn't go. But there's that second shot again for Drury. They've had a lot of them. And Whittick tied up in the corner. Gets out of there somehow. 8th grader. And they're going to call a foul. That's going to go against Felix. That'll be your second. Boy, I don't know how the 8th grader got out of that corner, but she did.
Strong with the ball. That was impressive getting out of that jam she was in, and strong with it, and drew the second foul on Jacinta Felix.
There's Lord. Doesn't get her shot to go, and it will be traveling here.
So far, my score for Drury for effort is an A. That's for sure.
Oh, no question.
Execution, not going quite as well. But, boy, they are really hustling out there. Both squads.
You know, talk about free throws. Hoosac's 5 for 7, Drury's 0 for 3. In this game, that's big.
Yeah, in a low-scoring event like this. Oh, they got loose, and it just scores. Meswar finding LeJess on the box here. 17-8, Hoosac.
Drury hasn't scored in a while.
They got to get something going here. They've yet to score in this second quarter. There's a foul there.
I thought there was a foul even before that.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'd be pretty happy with their effort if I was Coach Downey right now, even with the score at 17-8.
Right.
Eddie Shepard back into the game for Drury with the 2 personal fouls.
Yeah, they've certainly had their chances offensively, just can't put the ball down. They can get some of those shots to go, it'll make it a different game, that's for sure. Here comes LeSure. Stolen away, good anticipation there. And I'm going to call it travel.
Nice move by Addison Shepard.
Yeah, Lily Morandi on the steal probably should have shot the ball.
Right. Yeah, both ends of the court, even LeSure on her turnover. Sometimes you want your players to be a little selfish. Go to the basket and finish.
Yeah. Meswer down the lane. It doesn't go. Took the rebound away. Her second shot doesn't go. Boy, both these squads. Felix thought about it for a minute. There's the three-pointer. And that one doesn't go. Here it comes. And here it comes. And that's going to be the 15th foul. And that's going to put LeSure on the line there.
I think it's on Hayden. Her first.
Boy. I think you're right, Jen. Both teams working so hard on both ends of the floor. It's affecting the offensive shooting for both.
And the thing that's hard in a game like this, too, is I know it's a modern game. You shoot threes, you shoot threes, you shoot threes, but I think that one thing that Drury could take advantage of a little better is their height and their athleticism inside, and hopefully they can maybe make an adjustment and get to the basket a little more, draw some of those fouls on Hoosac.
That's a first foul shot that LeSure missed. 5 of 6 from the foul line. And now it's an 18-8 Hoosac Valley lead. They got up by 10. It's a danger zone here for Drury. They got to put some points. And there's a beautiful play right there. Felix into Ashlyn Hayden. 18-10. First basket of this second quarter for Drury. LeSure all the way to the basket, doesn't go. The putback doesn't go. And Drury comes out of there with the rebound. They're looking to push the action. Nice pass all around the rim and out.
Everything but the hoop.
Everything but the basket for the Blue Devils. 2 minutes to go in this first half, and boy, points have been hard to come by between these two squads.
But definitely that depth issue is coming into play because LeSure and Meswer played every minute, every second, I should say, of this first half, and they're looking like they're looking for halftime.
They do. You're right, John. They do. They're very tired. Yeah.
And a tie-up. The ball will stay with Hoosac Valley on the whistle. So Hoosac Valley inbound the ball here with 1:41 to go. They've got the 8-point lead, 18-10.
Well, you got another 8th grader in the game, Ella Biden, entering for the Blue Devils.
Yep, so we got 2 8th graders on the floor here in this big game. Bond and Wittick. Yeah,
This is a big stretch right here, this last minute 41. Can Drury get into that 8-point lead, or can Hoosac extend it to double digits before the half?
Oh, LeSure got away. Oh, what a pass down the lane. Oh. Everything there but the basket. And here comes Felix. Looking back. And it goes over to Hoosac Valley.
Ashlyn LeSure's had some great looks tonight, and their teammates just can't get the ball to fall.
Boy, I'll tell you, both teams have had some excellent opportunities in this one. 1:25 to go, first half, 18-10 Hoosac.
First 4 minutes of the first quarter, Drury had a hard time getting a good shot off. After that, just haven't fallen.
Right. Wittick directing traffic out there, the 8th grader. Hoosac running clock. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Sure, on the isolation, down the lane. Doesn't get it to go. And the putback by Hannah Lord.
Yeah, and that was great positioning. You were going to have to go over her back to get that rebound.
I think that was on Jacinta. That's her third.
Yeah, it is. It's Jacinta Felix has 3. And she's going to have to sit down. But
it's kind of a carbon copy of the Pope Francis game, according to Coach Downey last week. She didn't score in the ball game. She hasn't scored tonight. And she was in foul trouble.
And Hannah Lord missed them both. Oh, run down in the corner. Look at that pass.
Wow. Oh.
missed it again. Boy,
That was a great look by
A lot of
Maslar.
easy shots missed on both sides.
absolutely. That's the story of this game. Down the,
Oh, my goodness.
it was down and it came out. And here comes Wittick. The Jazz steps back and hits it. Go figure. 20-10, Hoosac Valley.
10 points for LaJess, playing a great game.
Yeah, she's really making herself impact in this game. Oh, on the line there, so it's going to go back to Hoosac with 1.6 seconds left here in this first half. And that is going to do it for the first half. And it's going to end in a low-scoring, physical battle between these two rivals. The score at halftime is Hoosac Valley 20 and Drury 10. And the story, really, I think, guys, of this first half is the open looks that both squads had, real good shots, and they couldn't finish it off.
Right, missed opportunities because it's a 20-10 game, and while both teams are playing hard, really going after each other, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the defense that's keeping it low scoring. It's a lot of those missed inside looks that they're just not knocking down, and that's going to be the key. What team makes the first run of the second half?
What I like about Ashlyn LaShore, her play, she has that patented move when she reverses her dribble and goes right down the lane, and she's had her way tonight going down there, but she has some great passes, a lot of misses. On the other end, some of the Drury bigs have had some misses, and Hannah Lacasse could possibly be their best outside shooter. Has rimmed in and out 2 or 3 times anyway. So, yeah, John's right, Tim. The score could be 30-22, but Drury only scored a bucket in that second quarter. Hoosac 10-8, so we'll see what happens. Last year, up at Drury, I know it was 2 different seasons, 2 different teams, 2 different situations, but Drury came out and really took over the third quarter and got within a couple of points. And Coach Frederick called a timeout. They regrouped and ended up winning the ball game. But we'll see if the same thing can happen tonight or not. And we'll just sit to Felix get her 4th foul right away. We'll have to see. But
Yeah, I was going to say foul trouble could be a big key in this game. In that situation with Felix getting 3 fouls in the second quarter, she's the one player that Drury needs on the court to handle the basketball. And Hoosac, I don't think can, with their lack of depth and pressure as much as they have in the past, but she's the one that gets that offense going for Drury. So
Right.
They need her on the court.
Right. And for Hoosac Valley, LaShore picked up 2 fouls in that first half, but she was able to get through the rest of the half without picking up that third. And
Right.
that's going to be important because no question the depth issue is going to come into play as Hoosac Valley, Maren Capiello is coming back from an injury, the senior, so she has not seen any action. And so it's going to be an issue that we're going to watch as the game goes along. But we're going to pause here. We're at halftime at Hoosac Valley. The score at half is Hoosac Valley 20, Drury 10. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to recap the first half and bring you second half action. All right, we're back here at Hoosac Valley at halftime. The score, Hoosac Valley 20 and Drury 10 in a hard-fought ball game. And Rick, you got some first half stats for us.
usually it takes about a minute to do both, but it took about 8 seconds to do them both tonight. So score's 20-10 Hoosac at halftime. For Drury, Elise Daly and Delaney Hayden each with 4, and Ashlyn Hayden with a bucket. And for the Hurricanes, Genevieve LaJess in double figures with 10 points, 5 for Ashlyn LaShore, all on free throws, a 3 for Emma Meswar, and a bucket for Reagan Shea. So, if you had told Coach Downey that Ashlyn LaShore would not hit a field goal in the first half, Meswar would have 3 points, and Shea would have 2, he'd be pretty darn happy. But the damage done by the freshman tonight. So,
no question about it. And John, as we said off air, both teams working tremendously hard, and you know, a lot of emotion in this game. Both teams may be a little tight because they both had some opportunities. Drury's had some great opportunities, just haven't been able to convert.
Right, a lot of hard-fought action in this game. I don't necessarily think these teams have not had their chance to score. So that's the key in the second half, is who can get a little better control of their emotions, their physicality, and take advantage of those scoring opportunities to make some runs, because Hoosac's done a nice job of playing those half-court, changing 2-3, 1-3-1, and matching up man-to-man. Drury's had some opportunities against that. They got to put the ball in the hoop.
And foul trouble, we've got Yusina Felix for Drury, the outstanding point guard. Got 3 fouls. Ashlyn LaSure has 2 fouls. Reagan Shea has 2 fouls. So we'll watch that Drury with a little bit more depth. That could come into play later in this game.
There's definitely some key fouls. Drury has some of their forwards with 2 fouls, and obviously the big one is Jacinta Felix with 3. And we were saying, I mean, Ashlyn LaSure picked up that second foul with almost 8 minutes left in this first half, and didn't get the third one. Just as good, smart playing by LaSure to stay in the ball game.
Okay. Drury will inbound the ball and have it first. And Hoosac Valley comes out in that 1-3-1.
good look there by Eva Moser.
Yep.
Wide open shot.
LaSure with the rebound, and she'll get the offense set for Hoosac Valley now in their first possession of the second half. Oh, they're going to call an offensive foul there.
It was a little late call. I could see it, but I didn't hear the whistle, so I thought they were going to let it go, and then the whistle blew.
I think in soccer they call that a flop. But hey, got the call. That's all that
Got
matters.
the call.
Yeah.
First foul on Meswar. And here comes Drury. Oh, nice play. Boy, that's a good call. I thought there was a foul. I was wondering if he was going to call that.
And that's a key against this 1-3-1. You got to attack into the gaps, and Drury's done a good job the first 2 possessions, getting into those gaps and getting some shots in good scoring areas.
Yeah, they've had good looks off against that zone, John. You're absolutely right. So,
and the good news, they're not settling either for the outside shot. They're getting some movement going towards the basket, and then Hayden makes them pay with a free throw.
Ashlyn Hayden gets the first one. She'll have one more here. The second one does not go, and LaJess with a strong rebound.
Lacasse almost snuck in there and steal the ball.
There's LaJess. That doesn't go. And Drury has the ball back. They trail 20-11 here with 6:55 to go in this third quarter. Step back 3, doesn't go. LaSure clears the rebound. Sure thought about it for a minute. And Whittix is being hounded. Almost a 5-second call. There's LaJess with that good move. Up and under, doesn't go. And it's back to Drury. Boy, I'll tell you, both teams having an awful time trying to score here. And on the tie-up, they're going to call a foul on the rebounding action.
It's going to be on Ashlyn Hayden, her second.
And so ball goes back to Hoosac Valley here. 20-11.
No quit in either one of these teams.
No. Not in the lead. 6 minutes to go here in this third quarter. It's 20-11. LaSure down the lane. Her shot doesn't go.
Definitely been some inconsistency, I gotta say, in this game. There's been bodies knocked on the floor with no call, and then there's like a reach in and some out.
Right,
So, I mean,
right.
I just gotta say it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
No, that's
it's
the way we
been
see it too, John.
It's been a very physical contest between these two teams, I'll tell you. There's a long three-pointer. And it'll go over to Drury, over to Hoosac. Yeah, they're taking no prisoners here tonight.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I would not stop taking the shots. You agree with that, John?
Yeah,
I mean, if they're open looks.
no,
I
keep
mean,
shooting them, but maybe getting a little closer.
Yeah.
Oh, Shea breaks away and foul, can't convert. But once again, there's an example. Hoosac Valley, they had a chance for the layup and won. And Shea will go to the line and shoot a pair, but boy.
Yeah, good use of the left hand by Shea. I think that's a little bit we talked about early. Don't play for the contact, play through it. But then make them pay at the free throw line. That's what Reagan Shea did the first free throw there.
Right. Now she's 2 for 2. And
Makes them both.
John, you pointed out that could be one of the differences in this game. Hoosac Valley shooting better from the foul line in this one.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of their opportunities to get a nice advantage on the free throw line.
And there's a foul, and that's going to go against Shea, and that's going to be her third with 5:09 to go here. And Coach Frederick in the third quarter is going to have a decision to make here. Hoosac with the 11-point lead, 22-11. Felix. Long three-pointer, doesn't go. Felix on the rebound. Oh, nice long cross-court pass. That was a beauty. Bodies all over the floor. Ball stolen away. Convert it. Oh, that's a big turnover
Daly
there.
picking it up, taking it to the hoop.
And timeout by Drury here.
Good timeout.
With
Coach Daly.
4:38 to go in this third quarter, 22-13. That was such a big steal for Drury because Hoosac Valley looked like they were going to have a breakout, and it looks like there's no timeout now.
Why do we stop the game?
Right. $4:38 to go here in this third quarter. 22-13, Hoosac Valley.
Well, it's a mystery, but we're playing again, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay, LaSure. Guarded by Hayden. And Reagan Shea, ball stolen away. Here comes Felix. And they lost the ball. Good. Wait a minute. Yeah, they're going to overturn this one. That was off. That was off of. That's off of field. Right. That's the right call.
That's the right call.
And here comes Hoosac Valley now.
Shut off the penetration there so far.
Sure, step back three doesn't go. That's a tough shot. Good defense there by Drury. Felix steps back. Hers doesn't go. And the ball goes to Hoosac Valley.
You know, going back to the Hoosac possession, it's really impressed with the ball handling by Whittick, too. She's strong with the basketball. She's not gotten the ball taken away from her tonight. She's very composed, and she looks for her teammates to give them good shots.
Yeah, she's not playing like an eighth grader, that's for sure.
No, she's played a lot of minutes tonight, too.
Yep. Sure out top. With it. Wheels away from the pressure. Down the lane, her shot blocked. and score it all the way to the basket. Nice job there by Delaney Hayden. She's got 6 points. There's a sure up and under. The putback can't go. And they're going to call a travel there.
Yeah, they're going to say at least Daly had possession. Wasn't a tie-up.
All right, 22 to 15, Hoosac Valley. 2:56 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Delaney Hayden's had a nice impact on this game for Drury with 6 points.
Whittick steps back and hits a 3-ball. Oh!
That's big. That's really big.
Oh!
A lot of confidence. A lot of confidence by her.
Yeah, that's a the 8th grader with a 3-pointer. Her first points of this game and got it back to a 10-point
Yeah,
lead.
Drury
for
had down to
Hoosac.
7 there after that hoop by Daly, or by Hayden, I'm sorry.
Well, with 2:48 to go here in this third quarter, guys, Hoosac Valley has scored 5 points and Drury has scored 5 points.
And, you know, in this game, the way it's being played, a 10-point lead is like a 20-point lead because it's not like, I mean, you're looking at the game, there's 3 minutes left in the third quarter. I mean, Drury's got 15 points. So to get, even just to get to the 25 that Hoosac has right now, that's a big task given the lack of scoring in this game. But Whittick there, I was going to say now, a couple possessions ago, handling the ball well, maybe look for her shot a little more. In those last 2 possessions she did, and that's a huge 3.
Drury's hanging in there as far as 2-point field goals are concerned. It's just the threes. Hurricanes have knocked down 3 to none for Drury, although they've had some great looks.
Okay, Drury will have the ball coming out of the inbounds and a timeout. They trail by 10, 25-15. Nice move by Felix down the lane. They're going to call a foul, I think, on the floor by LeJess. So they'll inbound the ball. And that's the 4th team foul on Hoosac Valley this quarter. Drury has 2, so Drury will be shooting on the next foul. Felix for 3. Yes! Big basket for Drury. Jacinta Felix with the 3-ball.
First points of the ball game for the senior point guard.
Reagan Shea to the basket.
Oh, that was a nice spin move. Very nice move by Shea.
That's her second bucket of the night. She's got 5 now. 9-point Hoosac Valley lead here. Things are starting to heat up. Under 2 minutes to go. Felix and LaSure on each other. The 2 seniors, outstanding players. They've had great careers for their respective schools. And there's a 5-second.
Yeah. What the sophomore might have thought of doing. She didn't want to throw the ball away, but she didn't think of knocking it off the player's leg either. And that's just, they'll learn in time. Just a 10th grader.
And that possession out of the timeout was what Drury needed, with just the Felix going to the basket, then getting a 3-point shot. So they need her to be more active, more aggressive, looking to score.
Reagan Shea on the long shot, doesn't go. And the ball goes to Hoosac. Yeah, Delaney Hayden was on the end line there and just could not maintain her balance. And now into the game for Hoosac Valley. Number 33, Alana Luciano, the junior, her first action. And there's Luciano. Oh, and there's ball taken away. It's going to stay with Hoosac. Good tie-up. Good tie-up. You're going the wrong way, ladies. The arrow favors favors Hoosac Valley. There's a step back. Goes for 3. Emma Meswar. Her second three.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Those threes are keeping them right where they are, right in the lead.
Felix down the lane. Good move there. Yeah, they're letting some of it go, I'll tell you that. Yeah, see, that's a foul. That's going to be 3 on LeSure with 53 seconds to go. We'll watch that here. 53 seconds to go in this third quarter. LeSure now has 3.
Also puts Drury on the line. There's the 5th foul of the quarter.
Right. Yeah, Coach Frederick not happy with that foul, that's for sure. 53 seconds to go.
Well, as much as we talked about her being smart in the second quarter, that was not a typical play for her there.
And they rattles home as Jacinta Felix has 2 foul shots, and it's 30-20 now. Under 50 seconds to go. And there it goes, and a block, and she's going to go to the line and shoot a pair.
You would look at this point of the game, and they're starting to do it now a little bit.
And that's 4 on Felix.
You got LeSure and you've got Meswar trying to take over this ball game with their leadership and their scoring ability.
And I'll also tell you this, you also notice out there, there are girls with hands on their hips. And that's a sign of being tired.
Yeah, hard fought, we said earlier, and that's another sign of it right there.
Oh boy, ball stays with Hoosac Valley on the tip ball, so that's a big break for Hoosac. As LeSure missed a foul shot. And there's Whittick, the 8th grader. Floater down the lane, doesn't go. Luciano, foul on the floor. Alana Luciano.
Daly, that's her 3rd.
So both teams starting to get into a little bit of foul trouble here with 34 seconds to go in this third quarter. 31-20, Hoosac Valley. And they're going to call, the question is, they're going to call this. They're going to call it now.
They called it on the ground.
Yeah,
on the floor.
Yeah, okay. That's right, John.
And Luciano's had a good impact on this game since she's come off the bench in the last minute or so.
Yep.
Sometimes those fresh legs make a difference.
Luciano with a jumper, doesn't go. And the rebound coming out of there is Ashlyn Hayden. Hayden looking to go the whole way, scores it. Ashlyn Hayden. And there goes. And they're going to call
the other
foul,
way.
and it's going to be believe it's going to be shooting now for Drury here. That's big. With 14 seconds to go. You know, John, you just get the feeling that Drury's got a run left in them here in this ball game. They trail by 9, but they've been on the edge a few times.
Yeah, they got down 30-18. They responded well with a 4-1 run here, not to get that back in single digits, and that's the key right here. Make a couple of these free throws. Well, they missed the first one. Play some good defense and get back in this game.
She gets 1 and 2. Back to an 8-point game, 31-23 here. 12 seconds to go. Hoosac Valley can play for the final shot of the quarter. Meswar doesn't go. And that's going to do it for the third quarter of action here at Hoosac Valley. The score after 3 is Hoosac Valley 31 and Drury 23 in a hard-fought battle between these two rivals.
You're right, Tim. The key is going to be in this first couple minutes of the fourth quarter. Can Drury get a little run going and cut this lead down below 8 to put a little pressure on Hoosac? And can they do it without Jacinta Felix on the court?
That's the most difficult thing. They look for her. She's their quarterback. We had mentioned in the boys' game the other night, a couple of Drury players, when they weren't in the game, changed the whole tone of the play, and the same thing with the girls' basketball too.
Right,
She's the one they look for.
Right, especially we talked about there's a lot of young players in this game. I mean, the keys on both teams are Meswar and LeSure for Hoosac, and then Felix for Drury. So what younger players can step up here and hit a big hoop or two to get either extend the lead for Hoosac or get Drury back closer in this game?
Yeah, so (31-23). Hoosac Valley with the 8-point lead coming in this final quarter play. Depth could be an issue. We talked about it. Felix on the bench for Drury. Meswar and LeSure have gone the whole way for Hoosac Valley. You say, yeah, the ball tipped away. Tip back. Oh, they're going to call a foul here. And that's going to turn the ball back to Hoosac Valley, I believe. On the
Ball's going to be on Izzy Moore, just into the ball game.
Hoosac Valley.
That was a big foul because it looks like Drury was in possession. And
yes, they were going to get possession, exactly. Good point, John.
Just running clock.
Hoosac's been very, much more deliberate in the second half, almost trying to take the air out of the ball a little bit to try to shorten the game.
And they're going to call travel.
Ashland looked for the lane, got it, but didn't get the whistle she wanted.
Wheeling down the lane. Oh, that's a beautiful pass. Score it for Daly.
Yeah, Hayden to Daly again off the glass.
That was great passing by Drury.
Yes, it is. It's a 6-point game, 31-25. And Hoosac Valley is having trouble against this Drury defense. Meswar, long three-pointer. Doesn't go. Going to go back to Drury.
You feel momentum swinging a little bit in this game.
Absolutely.
Right now.
There's no question about it. Drury is getting the much better looks offensively.
They certainly
here.
are not in a situation where they need a three, but a hoop would be really big for the Blue Devils here.
They've had good looks. And they're going to call a foul. And I think that's going to go against Meswar. So Drury will get another shot clock with 6:03 to go here in this ball game. 31-25, Hoosac Valley. It has been a low-scoring, physical contest. Score it! Oh, that's a beautiful inbounds play. Ashland Hayden, it down to a 4-point game, 31-27. Looking for LeJess on the block. Pass is knocked away, and it's stolen back, and they're going to call a foul there.
That's a hustle foul on Hayden.
5:43 to go in this one.
Second team foul for the Blue Devils. That wasn't a bad foul at all. That's
No.
just hustle. There's nothing you can do about that. A slew of players with two and three personal fouls.
Yep.
Yeah, Drury's responded well. They were down 30-18. They come back with a 9-1 run here to get back in the basketball game, and all the momentum is on their side. Big possession for Hoosac.
Absolutely.
Nice move by Meswar.
Yeah,
she answers when they have to.
That's
when
where you go to your
it.
senior. That's a big basket.
Yeah, that was a pretty well designed play there. Pretty good set offensively for Hoosac. They've had some trouble against the Drury defense. So it's back to a 6-point Hoosac lead. There is, look at this play. Does it go? Oh, it does not go. Boy, that was close. Great move by Felix. Here comes LaSure down the lane. She scores it.
That's huge. The two seniors with the two last buckets, big for Hoosac.
Back to an 8-point lead. 4:55 to go.
That was Ashley LaSure's first field goal of the ball game.
Yes, good point, Rick. They have really controlled her. Ball knocked away by LaSure. She can't get it to go. The follow-up is blocked. Oh, great hustle by both Drury and Hoosac on that one. Great hustle by Addison Shepard to knock that shot away.
A smart play by Felix not to get her fifth, and LaSure went right after it. They know who has the fouls and who to go after.
And a timeout by Hoosac Valley here with 4:39 to go in this ball game. This is going to be a big possession for Hoosac Valley. They lead by 8, 35-27.
Very impressed with the two seniors. Have been somewhat scoring quiet. Everything else, the leadership, everything else they've done on the floor has been fantastic. But when they needed hoops, LaSure and Meswar were there for them.
Right, when Hoosac was really struggling in this basketball game, probably had their two best possessions of the game with their two seniors scoring big baskets for them. And Felix tried to answer, just couldn't get the fall on the Drury side.
Yeah, it hung on the rim for a fraction of a second there, and kind of like the way things were for the Blue Devils in the first half. We're just kind of a lid on the hoop.
You know, we're talking about the impact and the importance of this game. Hoosac Valley comes into this game ranked number 4 in the state in Division 5. I think Drury is at 6 or 7. They dropped down a little bit. So huge implications kind of for both teams. Drury would like to move up the ranking ladder and get as high as you can as well. Perhaps even get into the top 4.
Right, these are the big wins, big games to play in for tournament experience, but it's also for Drury a chance to get that signature win, which they really could use.
Right. All right, Hoosac Valley inbound the ball. And the ball is thrown away. Well, there's a tip. Okay. It's going to stay. Didn't see the tip they did there on the floor, so that's a big break for Hoosac. Some good inbound defense there by the Blue Devils. All right, for sure. Shea thought about it for a minute. Gonna go over to Drury.
You know, Tim and John, I don't know if we said it or not tonight because we did High School Basketball Weekly here at the gym at 6:30, but congratulations to Ashley LaSure and scoring her 1,000th point this past weekend.
Yep. Yep. Made it to the 1,000-point club. And they're going to call, Drury's going to call a timeout. I thought that was a good timeout because the clock was kind of going down. They weren't really getting set on offense there, John.
Right, it was a good timeout by Coach Downey. They were kind of standing around offensively, and it's a big possession. You're not going to get a ton of possessions in the last 4 minutes. You got to take advantage of every one that you get.
Right.
Going back to LaSure for a minute too. I mean, that 1,000 points is a great accomplishment because she's been such a good point guard. She's played with some good players, and she's really taken over in her senior year as the leader along with Emma Meswar. In his last couple of possessions, they've really shown that leadership on her part.
Yeah, she plays, we've talked about this over the years. She plays that complete game. I think the best part of her game, I believe, is that she's a very, very good passer.
Yeah, definitely. She does it all. She passes, she can score, and she's a good defender. So, I mean, she's played in some big games, and she's scored in those big games for Hoosac over the years, and congratulations to her on 1,000 points.
I want to give a thank you, Tim and John, while we have a moment here, to everybody at the staff of Northern Berkshire Community Television to be able to put this broadcast on tonight. We were having some technical difficulties. It was looked very, very dim this morning that we'd be able to do a live broadcast because of some technical issues, and we worked it out. We were able to do it via Zoom tonight, fed back to Northern Berkshire Community Television on Union Street, North Adams, to be able to bring you High School Basketball Weekly and the game. So thanks to Joanne Hurlbutt, to Nicole Brown, to Matt Tucker, Peter Gentile, and Ryan Powsey, thanks for joining us tonight, taking care of our clocks,
Absolutely.
too.
All right, shot is missed by Drury. Here comes Hoosac Valley. Every possession now big for each team, especially Drury. They trail by 8, 35-27. LaSure step back. And good, ball turned back. Here's LaJess to the basket, and she's fouled on her way to the basket.
Yeah, these turnovers are certainly going to hurt the Blue Devils down the stretch here. They need possession because they need some good quality shots here to stay in the ball game.
Now, big turn of events there. Drury looked like they were going to have possession, and they lost it. Just
those are daggers right there. You have a chance to cut an 8-point lead, hopefully to 5 or 6, and now Hoosac gets a quick steal, and LaJess buries the first free throw. Their first points of the second half.
Boy, she's got a smooth, nice rotated shot.
Yeah, nice lefty stroke.
Hoosac Valley 11 for 17 from the foul line. That's a big story of this game. They lead by 10 now with 3:30 to go. And they're going to call an offensive foul.
I'll say that's flop part 2.
Well,
so each team's got one now, so we're even now, okay?
I couldn't agree with you more on that one. With all that's going on in this game, I have to agree with you, John. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Hoosac Valley with the ball. Thought about it. Good pass. No, nothing there. Drury with the rebound. Hayden into the front court. And another timeout by Drury with 2:55 to go here. They trail by 10. Every possession now important, John.
Our producer and director Peter Gentile telling me 1 timeout for the Blue Devils, I believe possibly 3 for the Hurricanes.
Okay. Not only is a producer a tremendous statistician, tremendous. Oh, we got all the stats right there on the stat board.
Well, we're pretty proud of our new sports camera that was just purchased that we used the other night up at Drury. It's our second time, and Peter's getting comfortable with it now. And we're able to put the score on the bottom, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, along with the timeouts. And Ryan Palsy donated here tonight to help us, as he's done for many, many years, doing clock for us. So, no. Well, a correction, that the clock is what you're seeing, so we're going to have to show you that on the scoreboard. 2:55 left here in the fourth.
And we're going to be live again on February 11th up at Drury High School when the boys tangle. Hoosac Valley and Drury, and that is always a delight.
It's going to be a battle and a half.
And both teams are in attendance here this evening supporting their respective schools.
Great crowd here at Hoosac Valley, as there always is, especially for the big rivalry game.
All right, Felix going to inbound for the Blue Devils. They've got to take advantage of every possession now. Ball on the floor. Felix gets away from trouble. And a foul out in front. And that is only the second team foul. That's Wittick on the foul against Felix. And John, it looks like they've switched LaSure off of Felix and put Wittick on Felix.
That's smart. Wittick doesn't have any fouls, and she's done a good job defending on the ball and keep LaSure out of foul trouble.
Ball on the floor. There's a tussle for it, and that's the story of this ball game right there.
There's Wittick right in the middle of it.
It's Hoosac basketball. The Drury does not get a shot off that possession.
Yeah, they have to take advantage of every possession now.
Time is not on their side, trailing here by 10.
And on the next Drury foul, Hoosac Valley will be shooting 2 shots as they have 4 team fouls here this quarter. There's a putback by Meswar.
Hard work pays off, and she comes through all the time.
39-27. 2:10 to go. There's a 3-pointer off the rim. And LaJess. And she's fouled, and that's going to...
All the momentum with the Hurricanes right now.
Yeah, 8-0 run by Hoosac here since it was 31-27.
Mostly done by the seniors, too, one way or another.
Drury had Drury had the lead down to 4 points, 31-27, as you said, John. And Hoosac Valley then got some big buckets from their seniors. And they've had the 8-0 run here, and that's really been the difference so far. And that young lady has had a whale of a game.
And Lejes has been 3 for 3 from the line during this run, as well as the 6 points from Meswar and LeSure. So
yeah, that's a good point, John. And Hoosac Valley overall has shot well from the foul line.
She's made wise use of her time on the court in the last few games.
And that's going to go against Meswar. And that's a third foul on Meswar.
Only the third team foul for the Hurricanes here in the fourth quarter.
Right. Drury inbounds the ball. Step back shot, doesn't go. And there is Wittig, John.
She's on the ball.
Wheels out of there. And Meswar smartly backs it out and going to run some clock here as they've got the 14-point lead. Oh, nice pass there to Lejes and score. Meswar to Lejes.
12-0 run to finish this game by Hoosac right now. 6 by Lejes during that run.
You know, Jen, looks like Hoosac's going to come away with this victory. And there's a foul there on the floor against Lejes. The score will not indicate how physical and emotional and tough this high school basketball game was. This
right.
Is
a little less than 5 minutes left. There was 31-27,
right.
Anybody's game, and then Hoosac had those 2 big possessions with their seniors knocking down shots getting to the basket. As much as there's been a lot of threes heaved up in this game, those 2 possessions with the seniors going to the basket turned the game around for Hoosac.
No question about it. And one of the 2 there for Shepherd. So we're under a minute to go here, and Hoosac Valley with the 15-point lead. LeSure running clock along with Meswar out on top, and they're Shea thought about it for a minute, and then finally the foul. You're going to foul, I guess you got to foul a little bit early. You don't want to run that clock down.
I'm just going to say this is one of those situations, too, in this game where that new rule really has an impact because Drury was shooting early in that third quarter. They were at 5. Hoosac's at 5 fouls. Drury was shooting. And Hoosac was much more deliberate and smart in the fourth quarter, didn't get in foul troubles. And now that's the first, then Hoosac's really taking advantage of that with their free throws in this game.
Right. Yeah, LeSure missed them both. She's exhausted. You can see that.
And she should be because she's played a heck of a game and played every minute.
Right. And a three-pointer goes there by Lily Moranti. The freshman Moranti drains it for 3.
Some great work by the veterans tonight, and especially from Hoosac Valley and the youngsters on both squads. Very impressed. They battled right to the end.
And you want to stay tuned following the ball game. We'll be down on the floor. We'll have some post-game interviews here.
That's a good point, John, that you made a while back about how many games Hoosac's played in the last few days. They had 2 over the weekend. They had Amherst last night. So 4 or 5 within a week's time. They're going to go 5-0 in the last week, just a little over a week.
And I was looking at their schedule, too. That's a big turnaround. Before they played this 5-game stretch in 8 nights, they'd lost 3 out of 4. And they were going down to Hoop Hall. They were going to Wacona. And they've won all 5. And that's a real good response by a team that is a real quality mix of veterans and young players.
Right. Yep. Yeah, they had a great experience down at the Hoop Hall. They beat Springfield International highly ranked team in Division III in overtime. So they've had a good run of late. And here comes Shea, going to wheel out of there. And they're going to run this clock out, and that's going to do it. As Hoosac Valley is going to come away. And this sounds trite, but with a hard fought victory over Drury High School. The final score here at Hoosac Valley, Hoosac 43 and Drury 31. And this was an absolute rock fight from beginning to end between these two rivals.
Yeah, the second half we got a little more scoring. Teams got some shots to fall and really played hard. I mean, there was some good runs in the second half of this game, and Hoosac had the last one at the most important time, the last 5 minutes.
Absolutely, John. It was that run when it was 31-27. Drury was on a roll, and you indicated, and I thought you were right, that Drury had the momentum and had a chance there at that point. And the two seniors for Hoosac Valley kind of took control, responded, and they went on that 8-0 run, and that really was the ball game.
Yeah, as much as we talked about the young players' presence in this game, when it really came down to it, the two seniors for Hoosac came up and hit two big baskets, and then LeJess stepped up and really 4 for 4 from the line, a big basket off a nice pass, and before he knows it, back to being a double-digit game again for Hoosac.
So I've got the scoring. Didn't take very, very long. First of all, for the visitors in blue, the Drury Blue Devils, they were led by Elise Daly with 9. Nobody in double figures tonight. Ashlyn Hayden had 7, 6 for Delaney Hayden. Jacinta Felix had 5 all in the second half. 3 for Lily Moranti very late here in the ballgame in the fourth quarter, and a free throw for Edison Shepard for their 31 points. And for the Hoosac Valley Hurricanes, they were led by freshman Genevieve LeJess, with 16, 10 of the first half. Also in double figures, Emma Meswar. 8 for Ashlyn LeSure, but only 1 field goal. Reagan Shea was held to 6. And Gianna Whittick with a big 3 in the fourth quarter from the corner here. For their 43. So Drury did a very respectable job keeping the Hurricanes to 43 points. Only scored 31. Drury was coming in averaging 45, scored well below their average. We're only giving up 35, so not, a very, very good effort. You can see a little bit more senior experience with the Hurricanes, and that. But I've said all along, the Hurricanes just keep reloading and reloading, and when somebody goes down, somebody else comes up, and they're underclassmen. John, they all played really, really well.
Right. I mean, as much as their seniors came through late, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to. The number of minutes that 8th grader Gianna Whittick played. And she had 3 points, and it was a huge 3 in the corner that she hit, but she was constantly on the floor creating jump balls, getting rebounds, making assists, and just handling the ball without, in a game that was filled with turnovers. I don't really recall her turning the basketball over in this game. And then, obviously, Genevieve LeJess with 16 points, some big free throws down the stretch, and just a real consistent game for the freshman for Hoosac.
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with a lot of these young kids.
And then Hoosac, Drury got some good minutes. Elise Daly with 9 points, Ashlyn Hayden with 7, and Delaney Hayden, especially in the first half with 6 points, helped Drury stay in the basketball game. And there's some good balance and efforts there from Drury to stay in this basketball game. And they were right there, 31-27, about 5 minutes left to go in the game. And that's the kind of game that the young Drury team just has to learn how to win.
Yeah, and they will sooner or later, John. The Hurricanes did lead all the way, 10-8 after 1, 20-10. They opened up just a little bit more. The Blue Devils only scored a bucket in the second quarter, and then 31-23. And as John just alluded to, Drury scored the first 4 points of the fourth quarter, and with a 5-something left, only trailed 31-27, a 2-possession game, and that's when the Hurricanes turned it on. Very similar to what they did in the third quarter for Drury last year. As Drury got close, a good timeout, and they worked things out. But
yeah, that second quarter was huge. Hoosac winning that quarter 10-2, really extended their lead in that time. And you don't win a game there, but you can sometimes lose it. And I think that created a deficit that was just difficult for Drury to overcome in the second half.
While Tim's waiting for some of the young ladies to come out, and maybe Coach Frederick will see. Just want to go through some of the local divisions in Western Mass. Take a look at the Hoosac Valley League, John, the girls suburban. I was thinking it was going to be South Hadley and Hoosac all the way through, and it's going to be South Hadley 11-1 overall, 8-0 in the league. Hoosac Valley is 11-3. They've gone to 12-3 now, and 7-2 in the league. My first three choices were South Hadley, Hoosac Valley, and Wacona. Still could be there. Hampshire right now is in third place. In the girls Central, where the Drury Blue Devils play, along with Greylock and Monument Mountain, it's being controlled basically by Agawam, team the Drury battled twice but lost to twice, and the battle is going to be basically for second and third place. Drury now goes to 6-6, and quite frankly, John, I took a look at their schedule. They got Wacona, they got PHS, they got South Hadley. If they take care of some of the other games, I think 500 is very reachable for Coach Downey this year. It's something that I know he strives for. You want to be above that, but moreover, the strength of schedule and the way that the power ratings are set with the MIAA. Drury's going to be one of those teams that you could see 8-10 or 9-9 and still be in the top 10 or 12.
That's a good point, Rick. I think that they played some tough teams. They got two more coming up next week. I believe they're at Wacona on Monday, and they got Belchertown at home on Thursday. So those are two big games for this Drury team. And like I said, PHS coming in was undefeated. They've got some really tough games coming up that are going to test them. And Wacona, obviously, in their own gym is always going to be difficult. And they're another team that's played a tough schedule, even though they're under 500. That'll be a battle in Dalton on Monday night for Drury. And then coming back to play a Belchertown team that beat them in a close game away. Drury's got to take care of business on their home court on Thursday night.
So the girls are out of the locker room after their meeting, and Tim Morey's down on the floor trying to get a couple of the players if he can. That's the hardest thing. It used to be a lot easier, John. The kids used to know, and they would come over right away. It's getting more difficult all the time now.
Right. And it's funny, you got some players that like doing it and some players that want no part of it either. So seniors usually, and I think Emma and Ashlyn here.
So Tim, take it away. Take it away.
Ladies, we're on the floor here with Emma Meswar and Ashlyn LaShore. And ladies, first off, I'm going to tell you, it was just a great broadcast, a great game to watch. This was a hard-fought game from beginning to end, Emma.
Yeah, it definitely was. We knew every time we play Drury, it's from our hearts. We come in, we say we're not losing to Drury no matter what, and we come out and we show it. It was a little scrappy today, but I think that we really persevered through that.
Ashlyn, let me ask you, at the beginning of the game, we commented during the broadcast, it looked like there were a little bit of nerves by both teams, that both teams are playing so hard that it really looked like both teams were tight starting the game.
Yeah, both teams at the end of the day want the win no matter what, and so many people come out to these games, so there's definitely a lot of nerves building up, and What
can you say about, you got an 8th grader out there on the floor, and she's in there scrapping like a senior. What can you say about an 8th grader in Miss Wittig?
She's amazing. She came out, we had a bunch of girls hurt. She came out, we had to put her in, and she showed that she could play. Throughout the games, at her first game, she's only showed that she can play, and today, it's just, it comes to her naturally.
Well, in that fourth quarter, Ashlyn, Drury went on a run, and they got it down to four points. And we commented in the broadcast that both you and Emma had a couple big plays, big baskets. The seniors kind of took over for Hoosac Valley and got you guys restarted again, and that really was the ball game. That little run there, 8-point run.
Yeah, as seniors, me and Emma just have the most experience at the end of the day, and we played so many games to the point where you have to keep your composure throughout the game, and I think that's what we did.
And Emma, let me ask you, it seems like Hoosac Valley now, your team, you guys are playing the best basketball of the season so far. It seems like you're really starting to come on. You had a great weekend down at the Hoop Hall and had some nice victories down there, and you're really playing well.
Yeah, I think that we struggled at the beginning of the season, finding our rhythm, but I think throughout the games, through our bench, our starters, we've really found out how to play with each other, and I think that is what has brought us to all these wins lately.
Well, girls, congratulations.
Thank
It was
you.
a great, great game to call, a great game to watch. Really great high school basketball action. Congratulations and
Thank
good
you.
luck the rest of the way. I'm sure we'll be
you.
covering you,
Thank
okay?
you. Thank
That's
you.
Emma Meswar and Ashlyn LaShore. And wait a minute. We're looking for Coach Down. Coach, thank you very, very much for taking some time.
No
and
problem.
we said in the broadcast that this ball game, this score of this game truly doesn't reflect how hard both teams played.
Yeah, when you lose games, even when you win games, as a coach, the thing that you look at the most is just effort. And I thought effort-wise, we were fine. I thought effort-wise, we played good enough to win the game. I think when I go look at the stats of this game, it's not going to be the turnovers. It's not going to be the fouls or not the fouls. It's going to be just making shots. I thought we got some incredible looks all game, layups that we missed, free throws that we missed, wide open three-pointers. So, it's one of those games where we make some of those, we might win this game by 10, instead of losing it by whatever the score ended up being.
Absolutely commented on that during the game. It just seemed like you had so many excellent opportunities. There was like a lid on that basket. If those go a different way, this is a very different ball game.
Yeah, and that's just part of playing in a high-stakes game like this. As players, it speeds you up to speeds that you're not used to. Certainly not what we're used to in practices. Certainly not what we're used to playing other teams. So I kept. And then once we did that, again, I just thought we got great looks. We just didn't make any.
Absolutely. In fact, I commented, we were talking with Emma Meswar and Ashlyn LaShore, and both of them said, he said, we were tight coming out. This is a big game for us. It's the biggest game of the year, no matter when you play it. And he said, we were tight, and it showed.
Okay, we're going to bring it back up here. We have some technical difficulties, but you heard most of the comments by Ashlyn LaShore, Emma Meswar, and Coach Downey, and we're sorry about the difficulties here with the audio, but we're going to wrap it up. The final score again here from Hoosac Valley was the Hoosac Valley Hurricanes 43, the Drury Blues 31. For Tim Morey, John Franzoni, Peter Gentile, and Ryan Powell-Zambrick, we're saying thanks everybody. See you again very soon. Good night for now.